episode 73. Will these comics make good film and television shows? We got something special. We got Justice League Kong and Godzilla. And we've got Hulk. And we don't have any independents this time. We got Fantastic Four special. Check it out right now. All right, welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I greatly appreciate it during my rants about movies and comics and board games and all the good stuff that makes entertainment. Woo! I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer. And if you want to check out some of the stuff that I've written, of course, I'm on Amazon. But also, we have Late Pledge for my vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. If you want to check that out, we just launched it. And we were successful on Kickstarter, but I'm down to the last 10 pages of art that I need to get done because it's an oversized issue of 48 pages. So check out the description below for the link, and if you can help me out there and pledge something, that would be amazing, and you'll get to pre-order the book both digitally or in print where I do sign it. All right, and let's jump into our comics for this week. We're going to start with Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. That's a lot of verses. This is number 5. They don't come out very often. They're coming out like every couple of months, I think. But we start with... We got... Superman is kind of taken out of the picture at this point. So we have Lois, who's doing some research. And she's hooking up with Mercy there. And, trying to figure out how to save the world from all of the monsters coming in. And she pulls some information out of Mercy, who is still working for Lex. But there's Superman, and he's still in kind of a stasis thing. And, I don't know what's going on with the art there. I mean, you got Lois, who looks like she's got a uniboob there. And then you got, I don't know what's going on with her, with Supergirl's torso and her legs. It's kind of all messed up. But anyway, so... At the last issue, which I didn't really like the fact that they stole from Clash of the Titans and they unleashed the Kraken in Atlantis, but that splash page is pretty cool. I gotta say, that splash page is pretty cool. So meanwhile, we have Mera and Aquaman and some other people in Justice League, all with breathing apparatuses on, including the Flash and Wonder Woman, and there's also Hal's also there, and they're trying to shield Atlantis because Godzilla's trying to mess with it, and there's another monster down there as well that he's fighting, and they try to capture one of the monsters, and that just doesn't go well, and it's just a whole big kaiju battle underneath the sea. Godzilla's getting some licks in, and the Kraken's getting some licks in, and the other monster's really just getting his butt kicked. They're going after this beacon, so Flash ends up grabbing the beacon and swimming away with it. Of course, he is about to get eaten, and he gets out just in time, of course. And then we have the continuation of the battle going on between the kaijus. But they're getting dangerously close to the Atlantis dome. And, we get Godzilla ends up raying it with his heat blast or whatever. And then which is very cinematic, they switch, right when we have a problem, or we have this thing going on with Atlantis, they switch to Skull Island with Ollie and a whole bunch of assassins. And he's on a boat with them. Poor Ollie, man. But we get some good action with him, and he's like, yeah, there's no way I'm surviving this. And I like that. I like that he says, I'm overpowered. So he ends up using a explosive arrow to shoot it to give him enough propulsion to land in the water. And that's the end of what we see in him. I don't know how he's going to swim out of there. I'm not sure what Batman is building here, but he's got the whole Teen Titans here building something. I'm not sure what it is. They kind of allude to it, but I don't really understand it. So anyway, we have Supergirl flies back to Skull Island to go with Kong, and I don't know how Gorilla Grodd shows up there, but he does. I kind of like that he's there, but I have no idea how he got there. So Supergirl's like, you're going to have to go because your Jedi mind tricks are not going to work on me because he's a mind controller. And he's like, I beg to differ, man. I beg to differ. And they're trying to take control of Kong, basically. But yeah, he mind controls her, and she slaps the shit out of Kong. That's not going to go well. So we go back to where, all the villains are, and we have Giganta, and they're on the phone with Deathstroke and Cheetah, and all the other stuff. And then we've got Shazam, Captain Marvel. So Billy feels very responsible, which technically he kind of is, for what's happening to Superman. And Batman is trying to talk him down, but he's looking for the villains. And I think that's why they were alluding to that, the villains over there. And they tell him to stand down and just do recon until they all can get there. But he's just, he's got the guilt thing going on, so he's going to take them all on himself. And, that's not going to go well. But he is kind of holding his own, so we get this battle going on. And, so Giganta bitch slaps him, and that's the end of that. Yeah. So anyway, we go back to Atlantis, and as Hal's about to give out with creating the shield around Atlantis, the other Green Lanterns show up, including Guy Gardner, Simon Baz, and Jon Stewart, Jessica Cruz, etc., and they help him out with that right when he is about to pass out. And Godzilla is continuing to fight the Kraken, and there's some really cool stuff there, man. We got this 2-page spread. It's pretty nice stuff. I don't know, man. It's nice. And then we switch back to Lex, and Lex has his own stuff in mind. And wait till you see the next page. He's about to get into his own little kaiju, but a mechanical one. That's right. It's Mega Godzilla. He's about to get into Mexican Godzilla. That's awesome. And then the last page, we have, I don't know what's going on here, but we have something. They're going to throw something into the Lazarus pit, into the Lazarus volcano, led by Ra's al Ghul. And that's the end of that so far. Wow, this is so good. I don't know, because the biggest problem with the movie, the monster movie stuff, is that nobody cares about the humans. We want to see all the kaiju battle and everything else. Although the last Godzilla movie, that was the best part of the movie, was the human side. You actually probably could have removed Godzilla completely, and the movie would still just be just as good. I don't particularly like the movie as much as everybody else because I like Godzilla as the good guy. But here you already have all this stuff going on with the humans. And the humans are superheroes. So we have the kaiju battles and we have the superhero battles. It's awesome. I would love to see this movie. It would have to be a series of movies because they couldn't tell this all in one movie, but because there's a lot going on. They would have to cut down the number of characters for sure. It's awesome. If you're not collecting it, the cover is awful, but the interior art's good, which is unusual. It's the other way around. All right, so let's jump into Hulk number 9, Legacy number 790. So we're getting up to almost 1,000 issues for Hulk. So this is written by Kevin, what's his name? Johnson. Philip Kennedy Johnson. Okay. And Danny Earls is doing the art in here, and the art in here is god awful. I don't know why they brought this guy in. I mean, this looks almost kiddish artwork. This is like somebody that's still going through art school. I mean, this is awful. But anyway, we're in New Orleans, so him and Charlie are in New Orleans. But we don't get to them yet. Instead, we're talking about this couple here. And this old woman passes, and the girl is rude to her, and the guy is like, don't be rude to her. And she's like, oh, you're so sweet, blah, 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 but the woman's a bitch. So the woman doesn't get treated very well in this. She's like ripped to shreds to the point where she's only got a piece of skull. And he's like, oh my God, what happened? I thought you were a cheap date. Now you're cheaper. I don't know. So then we switch to Charlie and Bruce Banner. And Charlie's asking why all the graves are above ground. And of course, he tells her about the water table. And then you won't be able to find a basement here because the water table is so high. Everything just kind of floats to the surface, which is true. I've been to New Orleans. And they are... First of all, New Orleans was created by criminals. I don't know if you knew that or not. But yes, they couldn't find anybody to work, so they had criminals come to build the city. Because everybody was dying. There was so much disease and all that other stuff. So that's what we're starting with this. But he starts to change, and he gives Charlie money and just says, I'll find you. Visited by Betty, who was trying to push him to give the Hulk to this other entity, who's the big baddie we really haven't met yet. And Betty's like, we could be normal if we just both give our Hulk personas up. And he's like, I can't do that because I got to protect Charlie. And plus, that he's getting taken. So she meets the same woman that the other people met. But there's a cop looking for her, and she's kind of wanted because I think she killed her father or something to that effect. So she's wanted. Her father was very abusive to her, and we see the changing of the forms here, which in this book it's never really pleasant. And he finally realizes that it's not Betty, it's really the entity that's trying to trick him. And then we go back to Charlie. And we have Charlie talking to the woman, and she finds a basement. That's right. She says, you could go out. There's no back door, but if you can go in the back and to hide from the cops, and I'll take care of the cops. And the cop is rude to her, and she puts the close sign on the thing, so the cop's not going to end well. But anyway, here's where she finds the basement, and she goes down into the basement. And she sees, nothing good. Nothing good. The basement of a serial killer. And the poor cop should never have been rude because he's now headless. And it almost looks like his eyes are still moving. So, anywho. This is the Monster of the Week book. And Monster of the Month, I should say. But we're slowly getting there. Eventually, we'll run out of monsters, I guess. But I like it. It's creepy, but the artist here was just not good, man. It kind of ruined it. But maybe he'll be back for the next. They need to find an artist. If the other artist is just too busy, we got to find somebody. Because it's like every couple of months, there's like a new artist in there. Like the artist can't keep up. That's the only thing I can think of. The other artist is just too slow. So I think that's the problem. So no independence this week or for this episode. Instead, I'm going to review the Fantastic Four from the early 80s or late 70s. I can't remember which one it was, whether it was 78 or 82 or something to that effect. But it's in I think it's early 80s. So this one is by John Byrne. And John Byrne was like the penultimate writer of She-Hulk. All right, and when I saw She-Hulk was in these, I grabbed them. I got these at a convention. They're only in okay shape, not great, but I didn't really pay much for them. And I almost like, as much as I like Thing, I like She-Hulk as part of the Fantastic Four a lot. And so we have, look at that, it's Nick Fury, the original one, who's white. not that I mind Samuel L. Jackson, but I haven't seen the white Nick Fury in a very, very long time because the Samuel L. Jackson visage has basically taken over for for the thing. So you really have to go back to the 80s, 90s to see the original Shield Nick Fury. So the artwork on here, so he wrote and drew this. And I love the fact that you can see the height difference in She-Hulk. But anyway, somehow they've gone back in time to 1936. And this entire issue switches back and forth to them being in present day and 1936. And they can't understand why. And unfortunately, I don't have the continuation of this because it's from the 80s. So Sue makes them all invisible as this guy comes to take the trash or whatever else. So anyway, they can't drive around in the Shield Mobile. So the Shield Mobile has a projector, and they project this UPS truck around it. That's pretty inventive for the 80s, I would think. So they're driving around this UPS truck, but in the interior it's a car. And and then they're in traffic, and they're getting followed by the cops because the license plate still has a updated license plate that is not 1936. So the cops chase them, but it's still a car, so it fits into an alley, even though it shouldn't. And when they get through the alley, they're in today's time. So they have no idea what's going on. And then I have no idea what's going on here because Johnny says, oh, I have to go check on Alicia. And Alicia is presently the wife of Ben Grimm. So I'm like, well, okay, maybe because Ben Grimm's not, I don't know what happened to him. So he's going to check on her. I always thought that was odd. So he flies off to meet her, and she's just sculpting. And they kiss. What is going on here? Why is he with the thing's, at this point in time, girlfriend? I'm very confused by it. But then she disappears, and he goes back to 1936. And I guess while they were driving, they switched back to 1936 also. I like that She-Hulk is stuck in the back seat. So they end up hitting, a road that's not completed yet. And Nick is hurt. So the car is damaged. He's hurt. And they have to go find the doctor, but they can't really bring him to a hospital because it's going to be weird. So instead, she's going to go find a doctor for him. And again, the artwork is just really nice. But anyway, she's walking around 1936. And this is where I learned this. I don't like her hair at all, by the way. That's got the 80s chopped up look as opposed to the boofy look. But at this point, Reed is dead. I'm like, what? What? Reed is dead. I've never read this before that Reed is dead. But anyway, S.H.I.E.L.D. starts talking through the walkie-talkie, and She-Hulk takes it off of... I love her face, by the way. I like the way that Byrne draws her. But she takes the walkie-talkie off of Nick and communicates with them. And this guy is getting chased by a car, about to get run down. And She-Hulk's like, I just can't stand here and watch him get run down. So even though this is going to be very, very awkward, where I'm in the wrong time period, I have to do something. And of course, S.H.I.E.L.D. is like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not showing you in 1936. So she lifts up the car and and basically tosses the guy out of it, or whoever the gunmen are inside. And we get this nice little Spider-Man thing with Hobgoblin. I love Hobgoblin. What is that? In 86. So I don't know if it's the number or the year. So anyway, so the guys run. She throws the car to the side, and he's like, "Don't hurt me! Don't hurt me!" And she's like, "I just saved your life, Dick. What are you doing?" So, and then I've never even heard of this. Dakota North, a bi-monthly from Marvel? Never heard of it. Very strange. I really wish I was collecting my Fantastic Four back in the 80s full time, because this is really good stuff. And again, I'm really interested about what's going on, because he keeps the mystery going about this whole 1936 deal going on. And Nick just takes off and leaves her there. I don't know what's going on there either. And she's just like, Fury, what's going on? No, don't leave me here. And, yeah, that's where it ends. And, like, how could you... It's from the 80s, man. You can't leave me hanging like that. I don't know if I can get the next issue. I really wish that the Fantastic Four was like this today. And if I got a chance to write the Fantastic Four, I would put She-Hulk back in it, because Rainbow Wilson, man, she's doing shit with that book. And I'm a big She-Hulk fan. I love She-Hulk, and the TV show is crap, and the comic today is crap, and then I go back to read John Byrne, and it's fucking great. Anyway, and too bad we're not going to get a good Fantastic Four movie. I'm already over that thing. I'm over Marvel cinema and television. I'm over it. I'm not even bothering with it anymore. It's so bad. And Sony ones are bad, and now I just heard that they're retooling Silk because everything directed towards females is doing so bad that they're finally trying to switch gears and go towards males. That's too late, man. The whole Marvel thing is dead. It's fucking dead. Hulk, this would be awesome if you could take Hulk into a horror side. This could pick up a whole other viewership if you took Hulk and made a horror movie out of it. You pick up the horror side as well as the Marvel side. That would be awesome. And then we have Godzilla and Kong and next versus the Justice League. This has been great. And I would love to see a movie, but again, we'd have too many characters to deal with. But it would be fun. It would be a damn fun movie. And anyway, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Spending time with me. Hopefully you had a little bit of fun, as much as I had fun reading these things. I really liked pretty much all three of these, which doesn't really happen very often. And remember, if you can, help me support Lords of L.A., my vampire mob set in 1950s, which also guest stars Marilyn Monroe. And, we have vampire action and blood, sex, and gore, and it's definitely made for mature audiences. Check out the Fund My Comic link in the description below, and give anything you can if you can. Plus, you'll get a great story out of it as well, because you'll get a copy of it signed or digitally. All right, thank you guys again, and check out some of my other videos, and you guys have an awesome week. Remember to like and subscribe. Give me the thumbs up. Give me the middle finger. Click something. All right, bye-bye, guys.